Yes, people, this video was made in the middle of Old Trafford. Don't hate.
Explain. Tell me no why you're none fear stress my brain. Me hex them still a text and still a try fi explain. See me on the right, girl. Better take the left lane. Hex a try hex.
Kings and queens, members of the Wasteman Mafia, welcome back to the show. This is your boy Rome. Make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe somewhere down there if you're new. It's been a while since we were able to make a video because the fourth official, the man cave or the locker room, if you want to call it that, has been undergoing some renovations, some small tweaks. And no, right behind me, this is not a green screen, people. This, my friends, is the real deal. This is no green screen. This here is my Old Trafford, my own little lair. Give you guys a little tour of what we look like here in the fourth official man cave. So enough of that. Bag of spinning. Whew. Anyway, Manchester United. I told you guys before, supporting Manchester United is really not good for my heart, bro. So before we even get into the senior team or the first team, let's talk about the under 23s and the under 18s. The under 18s played Man City over the weekend. Regardless of what level it is, a derby is a derby. We came out 4-2 winners, and that little man called Charlie McNair, bro. That man scored 4 goals today, and ironically enough, he scored over 300 goals for Manchester City, playing for them in the youth ranks, and he just signed for us for 1 million last year, and he's playing in our under 18s right now, and he's currently still leading the charts in scoring goals. This boy is a machine, bro. This man just score goals for fun. So look out for him, Charlie McNair, bro. He might go be the next Harry Kane, man. Put him down. Charlie McNair, boy, this boy is a goal machine. The under 23s played Arsenal as well and came out 3-0 winners. Arsenal played with 10 men for majority of the game. You could have tell that throughout the game that we didn't necessarily stamp our class playing against 10 men. Arsenal is a really good team. All the hype about this kid named Balogun at Arsenal, you can see in the few moments that he had in the game that, you know, he could really come up with something very special. So big shout out to Arsenal. Even though them get beaten, that unit named Balogun look like he might have something like it with him. But the under 23 team come out victorious. We have a young striker playing for the under 23 team that we just got from Sunderland. I mentioned him in a previous video. Go back and look at the video that we did on the under 23s and such. But his name is Joe Hugo. I call him Hugo Goals because all he does is score goals, man. This boy is very talented. He got into the goal. He missed a penalty in that game as well, but he got into the goals. The only thing we have to worry about in the under 23s is that the most promising baller we have in the midfield, Hannibal Mejbri, just got injured in that game. We don't know how much longer he will be out, but looking forward to see if Mejbri make it back. Female team lost to Man City. It was an embarrassing 3-0 loss, and we just didn't show up for that game at all. We're just giving the title to Chelsea, similar to first team is giving the title to Man City, which is a perfect segue into what kind of capitulation we're dealing with this senior team, bro. This first team is just, I don't know, bro. We're not creating, we're not playing the way we should be playing, the way we were playing throughout the latter part of December. It's like these man forgot how to play football. We're getting a lot of creativity out of Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka. Luke Shaw is leading 2001 in terms of assists so far. Someone who you would think a year and a half ago could not cross the bar to save him life. Luke Shaw is leading the Prem in assists, bro. And we're still not creating for our players, bro. Cavani never once scored for your header in the entire game, my guy. We're not creating crap in these games, and it's causing us a whole lot, bro. And I don't know where the creativity is gonna come from. Our forward line is just absolute shit. Martial, Rashford, shit. Bruno is holding his own, but in terms of creativity, we don't have any, and it's missing since Pogba is gone. So you can see how integral Pogba is now and in the future for Manchester United, because we're not getting any creativity. Bruno alone is expected to create something, and if that's not coming off, we're not going to get anything from Fred. We're not going to get anything creative-wise from McTominay. McTominay seems to be a goal-scoring midfielder than he is a creative midfielder, and no one can ask him to create anyway because he was never that type of player. So where will our creativity come from if we have so many teams just sitting back and praying that they nick a one goal and just defend like what happened last game, bro? I went on a podcast, right, All for United, and I told these man, regardless of how we're expected to win that game, United always makes it difficult, bro. These man always make it difficult for their fans to go and sit down and watch a decent game of football and mess up my entire week, blood. don't make sense, by guys. It's just annoying. But before we go and before we talk, the next game is Real Sociedad in the Europa League, which no one is excited about. I would really like to touch on a little thing we call mental health when it comes to football fans, enduring football fans who love the sport and follow the sport both on TV and social media. One have to ask themselves, how do you guard yourself against people who strategically and specifically target you on social media and target certain fans on social media to get them upset just so that they can get social media interactions and get likes and comments and such like that. You have to guide yourself as sensible fans to know that what this man is saying and what he's doing is geared to incite you and to get to trigger you so that you can comment or retweet or quote tweet his comments on Twitter. If you're on Twitter and you see man making nonsensical tweets at like, today is Tuesday, Manchester United should be playing in the Champions League if it's not from Anthony Martial. What does that do to you as a fan of Manchester United? As a fan of Manchester United, your aim is to watch your team play, yeah? You are not there to create rifts between each player, bro. But this man is saying stuff like that so you can start hating on Anthony Martial because Manchester United is not in the Champions League, as if Martial is the only reason for missing one goal why we're not in the Champions League. Why, as if the team hasn't been playing crap the entire Champions League. As if the team didn't have 3 opportunities to seal the second round and didn't do so. Anthony Martial is not that reason. For you to see a man tweet saying Marcus Rashford is busy focusing on feeding children and he should be busy and focusing on learning how to score goals, it kind of takes you away from the football and your love for Manchester United and start blaming Marcus Rashford for doing the great work he's doing off the field. Again, these men are just trying to trigger you, bro. These men wake up in the morning not getting any ass from the girl the day before and start blaming Harry Maguire, bro. Because they can't bust a nut, my guy. These man blame Harry Maguire for everything. If Manchester United fear to get a corner because of the referee, then blame Harry Maguire for not cussing out the referee. Just because it costs 80 million. What is this doing between us as fans, genuine fans who just want to see we team play and win? That causes a rift between the fan base because some people are saying Martial this, some people are saying Rashford that, and no one is supporting the team as much as they should, bro. I'm not saying these men are beyond reproach. When they play bad, you tell them they play bad. Right now, Rashford is playing like shit, right? And you have some people in the media who are not approaching it in that regard. They keep on asking social questions about Martial, about David De Gea, and no one is asking social about Marcus fucking Rashford, bro. And how Marcus Rashford has been playing like shit for the past month, but I'll know social not to kick him out of the team. He needs to be benched, bro. Obviously, he's getting the license to go out and express himself and create things. But if you realize when Rashford get the ball, Rashford is trying to go past 4 or 5 players, bro. In the box, his decision making has been shit, complete shit. And no one is asking Solskjaer as to why you're not taking him out the team and making him start focus on his decision making on the pitch, bro. Rashford, just the other day, stood up in the box, 2 defenders in front of him, on a fast break. And instead of passing the ball quickly and moving it, he waited, then made the pass, defender come intercept, bro. Rashford's decision making has been complete shit and no one is saying anything about it. But because of the media and the people who are responsible for asking the questions in England and are supporting their English players, yet still Martial is the fault, and which pit players against these players within the fan base. People don't fall for it, bro. Don't fall for it. You support Manchester United, you support them to the tilt, and that's it. Again, sorry for the hiatus. Been out for a couple of days trying to sort this one out. Had a death in the family. Still recovering, still mourning. But Manchester United go back again this Thursday. Hopefully we can pull off a win. Sociedad is a very, very tricky tie. We need to get a win and advance. A trophy is a trophy. I'm not a fan of the Europa League, but it is what it is. It's an opportunity for Van der Beek get out there and play some ball. Daniel Williams and the rest of them. So looking forward to the game this weekend. Bless up yourself. Stay safe. Make sure you subscribe down at the bottom down there. So manners.